Hey everybody, happy Friday. Happy Friday everyone. I'm going to wait till a few people join in and we're going to get started with coffee and planning Fridays. I told you guys I was coming with this, just had to make some time for it. But we're going to make Fridays our coffee and planning Fridays. Okay, so I'll wait till a few more come in as I am continuing to work. It's been a busy week and going into another busy week next week, which is the week of the 10th. So happy Friday, everyone. So I decided to hop on live today just to kick off our coffee and planning Fridays. Since it's been such a full wedding planning, event planning week, got some things kind of moved off my schedule today. So I had some time to hop on, talk about weddings, talk about events, kind of talk about me as a full-time planner, full-time coordinator now. What do I do every day? What does my week look like? Answer some of your questions. Whether you're planning a wedding or event, this is the time to just jump on and get some of my insight. If you got some questions about an event that you're planning and you want to hear what I got to say, then this is the time. So come hang out with me. Would love to talk to you guys about what wedding planning, coordinating, florals, just about anything. I'm open to it. So we're going to see if anybody joins us today. It's quiet. I think I want to turn on some music. I don't know if you guys will hear anything, but you guys can hear that. You probably can't, but I finished my coffee today, y'all, but I had a iced coffee from Chick-fil-A. Caramel was the flavor. Of course, Chick-fil-A lemonade is good, so like their iced coffee never disappoints. Just simple, nothing fancy, but it was good. And I got this pretty little mug. We went on vacation in June to Chattanooga, just a quick, getaway. And at the aquarium, they had these beautiful mugs. So you can only imagine, like, anytime I go to a vacation, I gotta grab me a tumbler or a coffee mug. So ain't this pretty? So cute. All right. Some people, let me see. All right, guys. So I don't know if people will join, but I will, of course, save this video. You guys can come back to it. If you missed the live, if you're at work, or if you're on a lunch break right now, you definitely can watch the playback. But what I've been doing this week, again, we have a busy September coming up. So we're almost a month out from the big events. We have 4 weddings in September, and they're all in the first 2 or 3 weeks of the month. So to make sure I plan ahead, to make sure I'm not overwhelmed, to make sure my team is prepared, I'm really going in between these 4 weddings planning. So this week, just confirming with my clients that they are, getting their final payments in for all the vendors, including myself. making sure that we are working and pushing towards a completed timeline, a completed floor plan. If there's any additional guests that's been added to the list, because at this point, I've put together the whole like invitation suite. We've sent out invitations 30 days out from the wedding, 30-day mark. We should have a final guest count. So just making sure their guest count is as final as we can get it. Know there's going to be some changes closer to the wedding, but confirming all of that. So once I get a final guest count, I'm working on the final floor plan details. That means flowers and linen and glassware and silverware and, you know, the ceremony arch, all of that stuff. I am confirming everything that we need, everything I need to purchase, you know, on the floral side, just really planning each, like finalizing each detail. And that's for 4 weddings for September. So crazy. Wednesday, I went to the studio. We have a rental that's set up for Saturday. We have a good friend and partner with Weddings Unlimited that wants to use our flower wall and our photo booth tripod setup. And I'll tell you guys more about that. They want us to set it up for a birthday party. So got all the materials and stuff I needed for that setup. I went to the storage on Wednesday. Got all that stuff for Saturday. So I'm ready to go for that for this weekend. And then yesterday and today, I'm working on floor plan. And also mock-ups. I think people don't understand how long it really takes for how long it really takes for a planner or a designer to come up with a mood board. It takes hours sometimes. It takes days sometimes to really perfect this mood board before we present it to our clients. And then also pairing that mood board to a floor plan. So it takes a few days, but I've been working on this since last month. August is the time that we're like finalizing everything. And that's what I'm doing, is tweaking that. So kind of all in one, what it takes to really plan and getting all of this done. And hopefully you guys can see some details about the rental on Saturday. So that is what I've been doing all week. And get through this. A few things I want to talk about for Coffee and Planning Fridays, which is like, you know, it's going to be our first episode, is what are the most common mistakes couples make? This is what time to, if you don't see the live, and you do the replay, if you want to leave questions in the comments, you can. Or if you want to leave some of your own insight, leave it in the comments. But some of the most common mistakes that couples make, and I have seen, is underestimating setup time. Everything looks beautiful when it's done. Everything seems like it happens quickly, but especially if you have a guest count of over 100, 150 people, it takes a team no less than 3 to 4 hours, possibly 5 hours to set up, depending on how like extravagant and how lavish your wedding is. It really does take time, because you do have to include load-in time, unloading time. If there needs to be a tables or chairs set up or rearranged. Sometimes the venue director is not there to open the door when it's time for us to set up. It's a lot of things that could happen in between, setting up. So please, couples, event hosts, people who are having events, please allow the vendors enough time, especially the decorators, enough time to set up, because 3 hours is the minimum for my team, but sometimes it takes 4 to 5 hours depending on what we have to set up. So underestimating setup time. Okay. Breakdown time can also be a lengthy time, but there is a logistics in that. Probably estimate about 2 hours of breakdown. That means for the caterers, for the bartenders, decorators, cleaning up plates and drinks and getting all the linen and everything in the truck, please give us 2 hours. Okay. So next thing, common mistakes that couples make is not having a detailed timeline. If you worked with me, and a lot of vendors have worked with me, you guys know my detailed timeline is like, it has every single detail on there. I do not play about that timeline. I try to stick to that timeline as close as we can. We spend months and months going over the timeline itself, which includes, if you're talking about weddings, when makeup and hair starts, when photos start, how long that's going to be, who's in the photos, the time for the flip, if we have to move tables and chairs around in the space, what that flip time looks like, reception, and also the farewell exit. All of that is included in our timeline. And we have like titles of songs, what's going to be played. We have names of parents and grandparents and whoever's walking down the ceremony aisle. It is very detailed. And to have that as a master timeline for all your vendors is important, because now all your vendors are on the same page. We're all following the same thing. And no one is confused about what's happening. On top of the detailed timeline, I do want to kind of talk about, as a coordinator, how it's important to, I wouldn't say lead, like guide. That's a good word. To guide the wedding guests, right? Guests come there to have fun. They don't know what's happening next. Of course, every wedding seems to be the same, but they don't know, the venue. They don't know what's happening next. So it's important as a coordinator to guide your guests. Make as many announcements as possible. Let people know where the cocktail is happening. Let people know what's going to be served at the bar. What's going to be served at the buffet line, or, past hors d'oeuvres or appetizers. Let people know what's going on so that you don't have just random guests walking around. How guests are. They're sitting at tables already. They're walking around the venue, don't know where else to go. Guide them to where they're going and tell them the appropriate time when to return. Hey, cocktail hour will be starting in an hour. Please return by 6 o'clock. If you have not found your seating assignments, check out the QR code or check the seating chart. Like, don't be afraid. As a professional, I'm not afraid of going up in front of your guests to tell them what's happening next. That way, everybody's kind of on the same page. Okay. So, another mistake I see people, or couples make is not communicating effectively with the vendors. And this kind of goes into the timeline. Letting your vendors know what time is set up, let them know what time is breakdown. Also letting them know, being transparent about payments. Like, hey, this is the payment plan. This is the retainer fee. This is when the final balance is due. Couples, be honest. Life happens. So if you're like, hey, we've had some financial trouble, I'll get your payment in. Let people know what's going on so that we can, as professionals and as vendors, we can plan accordingly. If you have a change in your budget, if you have a change in your schedule, let the vendors know. Okay. Don't wait too late for that. And the last, I would say must be the last, but another common mistakes couples make in the planning process is waiting too late to hire a coordinator. I don't know why. I don't know why couples wait that late. But it's important that we know. For me, 6 months before your wedding day gives me way enough time. Especially if you got everything planned, you have your vendors booked, you have your venue booked. You know your vision for your wedding, you know your timeline, at least a snippet of what time you want the ceremony to start. If you got that, 6 months gives a time. I have planned a wedding within 3 to 4 months before. It's possible, but it does give us a little headache. But don't wait too late. have your things together before you come to your coordinator. Know your budget, what you're willing to pay your coordinator. What do you have left to book, or what you have left to do? How far you are in the planning. Be honest with that process. So when you do try to find, or in the process of finding a coordinator, you know what you need. And that coordinator also understands, hey, Michael, the coordinator also understands, like, you know, what's left in the planning. So, and it's just for weddings. This is for events. If you're planning an event and you need someone to help you logistically get everything together, then be honest where you are, what vendors you have already booked, what you're missing, so that coordinator can fill in the gaps and know exactly what you need and how to tackle all of your tasks. Okay, so we went through a few of the wedding event planning Q&A, the most common mistakes that couples make. So if you want to leave a comment, what's the biggest wedding question you've always wanted to ask a planner? You can leave it in the comments right now, or leave it when you do the replay. And let me know if you want to see or hear any other topics for Coffee and Planning Fridays. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I want to make sure that you guys are knowledgeable about wedding planning and event planning, and kind of go in, prepared and ready to host a beautiful wedding or event. So if you guys want to leave some questions, please do. And I'm excited about our new Coffee and Planning Fridays, and I hope to talk to you guys soon. Bye.